everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the Ephesus in Turkey. Imagine a city paved entirely in gleaming white marble in the 4th century AD. 250,000 souls lived, traded, and debated philosophy here under the Mediterranean sun. Today, we call it a ruin, but 2,000 years ago, it was the metropolis of Asia, the second most important city in the Roman Empire, surpassed only by Rome itself. Located on the western coast of modern-day Turkey, Ephesus is not merely a collection of broken stones. It is a time machine. Today, we step through the gates of history to explore its rise, its architectural wonders, and the footsteps of the apostles that changed the course of global civilization. From the pagan glory of Artemis to the dawn of Christian baptism, Ephesus witnessed the greatest spiritual transformation in human history. Part 1. The layers of history and geographic shift. To understand Ephesus, one must first understand its geography. It was not built once, but reborn in multiple times. Great roots. Legend says it was founded by Androclus, the prince of Athens, guided by an oracle. He established the city at the exact spot where a fish jumped from fire and a wild bull appeared. The Roman Golden Age. By the 1st century BC, it became the capital of the Roman province of Asia. The grand monuments we see today, the soaring columns and the intricate friezes date largely from this area of opulence. The silent killer. You might wonder why this port city now sits 5 miles island. The culprit was the Kistros River. Over centuries, silt deposit filled the harbor, turning the bastion walls into stagnant marshes. As the sea retreated, so did the city's walls, eventually leading to its silent abandonment. Part 2. Agricultural wonders, the pride of empire. 1. The Library of Celsus. This is the icon of Ephesus, completed in 110 AD. It was the third largest library of the ancient world, housing over 12,000 scrolls. Visual illusions. The architects were masters of perspective. The podium is slightly convex, and the central columns are smaller than the outer ones, an optical trick to make the facade appear more heroic and wider than it truly is. The 4 watchers. In the niches stand 4 statues representing Sophia Wisdom, Aranda Virtue, Anoia Intelligence, and Epstein Knowledge. 2. The Great Theater. Covered into the slope of Mount Empire, this massive semicircle could hold 25,000 spectators. It was more than a stage for drama. It was an area for gladiator combat and the site of world-altering political assemblies. Its acoustics are so perfect that even today, a whisper center stage can be heard by someone sitting in the very last row. 3. The Temple of Artemis. Once one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, it was 4 times the size of the Parthenon in Athens, supported by 127 colossal columns. Today, only a single, lowly pillar stands in a marshy field, a humbling reminder that even the most magnificent civilizations eventually return to the earth. Part 3. Footsteps of the Apostles, the cradle of Christianity. To the Roman Empire, Ephesus was a center of power. but to the early Christian church, it was a strategic headquarters for the gospel's westward expansion. 1. St. Paul and the rite of the silversmiths. Around 52 AD, the Apostle Paul arrived in Ephesus and stayed there for 3 years. His longest residence in any city. Preaching in the hall of Tyrannus and the local synagogues, Paul's influence was so profound that it shocked the city's pagan economy. A silversmith named Demetrius, fearing his trade in Artemis' shines was doomed, incited a mob. 25,000 people surged into the great theater, rowing for 2 hours. Great is Artemis of the Ephesus. This dramatic confrontation is enormously in the book of Acts. Though Paul eventually departed, his letter of the Ephesus remains one of the most profound texts in the New Testament. 2. St. John and the Book of Revelation. After Paul, Ephesus became the domain of St. John the Evangelist, the false gospel. Many scholars believe John authored his gospel here, emphasizing the divinity of Christ. The first of 7 in the book of Revelation, Ephesus is the first of the 7 churches of Asia addressed by Jesus. The Basilica of St. John. On Apostolic Hill, Emperor Justinian later built a massive basilica over what is traditionally held to be the tomb of St. John. For centuries, it was a pilgrimage site second only to Jerusalem. Part 4. The final home of the Virgin Mary. High up on Mountain Cressos, tucked away in a quiet forest, lies a place of deep serenity. From the cross, Jesus trusted his mother Mary to the care of John. It is believed that when John moved to Ephesus to escape persecution, he brought Mary with him for her safety. A miraculous discovery. In the 19th century, a German nanny named Anne Catherine Emmerich, who had never visited Turkey, described the house of Mary in startling detail based on her visions. Following her descriptions, researchers discovered the foundations of a 4th century storehouse. Today, the House of the Virgin Mary is the Vatican-recognized shrine where both Christians and Muslims come to offer prayers in profound silence. Part 5. The Legend of the 7 Sleepers. The spiritual history of Ephesus includes a legend that transcends time, the 7 Sleepers. During the Roman persecutions around 250 AD, 7 young men refused to renounce their faith and hid in a cave. They fell into a miraculous, diving slumber. When they awoke and walked into the city to buy bread, they were stunned. The pagan idols were gone, and the crosses were anywhere. They had not slept for a night, but for 200 years. They had outlived the empire that tried to destroy them. This story, recorded in both Christian tradition and the Quran, stands as a powerful symbol of the resurrection and the endurance of faith. Last part, conclusion, the living stones. As you walk down the curious way, you can still see the ruts in the marble wall by ancient chariot wheels. Ephesus teaches us that cities are living things. They breathe, they grow, and eventually they return to dust. But as long as these stones remain, the spring of the ancient world and the flame of early faith will never truly be extinguished. To explore the emphasis is coming to the end. Thank you for joining me to this journey. If you like, please share and subscribe. See you next episode.